Good morning, everybody. It's Big K Crypto here. Hope you're all doing well. You've all had a great start to the week so far, and a great weekend, of course, right? Today's video is very different, just like the thumbnail presented to you. This video is going to be about prop trading firms, right? What they are, how you can use them to your advantage, how I've used them, okay, and why I've used them, and of course, listing the pros and the cons for them. Prop trading firms have shown, a very recent strengthening trend as of late over the last year or 2 years, or maybe even more. But for me, myself personally, in the city that I live in, there's a huge Forex presence, and where I've met a few different people that are in the Forex industry, and especially, they've all kind of pointed me towards this as being a way, because I always used to say Forex, you've got to put down a lot of capital to be able to really profit from it in trading. But the whole point of these prop trading firms is you can have access to, let's say, $100,000 account only with the fee of about $700, $800. Of course, there are, it's not that easy. Okay, you don't just pay $700 and get access to 100K. But we're going to go into that in this video. Now, of course, before we get into any of that, let me just go through the disclaimer. None of this is financial advice whatsoever. Okay, please make sure you understand that. Anything that I do say in this video is just my own personal thoughts, opinions, and experiences. If you do want financial advice, go and please pay a professional for that. So, with that being said, right, prop trading firms. Now, again, going back into the history, again, like I said, the last year or so, as you know from my previous two videos where I've mentioned about, unfortunately, my mum passing and grievances and stuff in the family, the last year or so, I haven't been active very, very much in the crypto space or any kind of space, really, because of other family commitments. But where, I have been talking to certain people in Forex and stuff around, and by the way, guys, this doesn't apply only to Forex, it applies to commodities, metals, equities, bonds, whatever, right, even crypto. But you do have to look at, the fees and stuff associated with them. But yeah, the point was that people were saying to me, you can go into these prop trading firms and you can, as long as you pass the certain parameters that they request from you, you can get access to a large amount of capital for a very small price. Now, again, it's not that easy. You do have to, like I said, pass certain parameters, almost like a test, okay? And these prop trading firms, just to be clear, right, they are businesses. They are in the business of making money, just like everybody is. And nothing is for free. They rely, in my opinion, right, I'm going to go straight off the bat. You can see this as a pro or a con, depending on which way you look at it. They rely on two types of customers. The customers that are going to come in, they're going to try trading, they're going to fail the so-called test in parentheses, okay, not pass the parameters, fail, and retry and retry and retry. And, they get paid for that, right? They're getting paid for that each time you buy a package or their parcel, which we'll look into in more detail. And then on the other side, they've got the traders that do pass the parameters, they do pass the test, and, are trading very well. And they get a commission for every time you withdraw and take out your profits from there. Now, of course, this is to be said. If you have, let's say, $100,000 account, you cannot take that $100,000 out of that account, right? This is their money. You're trading with their money and everything else. But we're going to go into that in a bit more detail. So there are three typical types of prop trading. Okay, the first is the traditional proprietary trading firms. Then there's prop shops, and then there's this, what we're talking about today, which is the remote prop trading firms, funded trading accounts. And this is what has been blowing up over the last year or two. So first of all, for a brief overview of everything you need to know about prop firms, you can go and look at this article. You can do, again, put your big boy trousers on, go and do your own research and understand what you're doing, what you're getting into. Okay, everything has an associated amount of risk. But yeah, prop trading firm is a company that provides its traders with access to capital in return for a percentage of the profits generated. The main thing here is the access to capital allows you to trade with larger position sizes and also take on more risk. Okay, and of course, remember, trading is also a psychological thing. When you're trading with somebody else's money, you don't have that panic moment of I'm trading with every single penny that I own in this particular trading account. What else can we say here? Benefits, of course, you've got larger access to capital. Some of them do offer trading education if that's something that interests you. Support mentorship, risk management. Okay, so they do make you have a high risk management and tech. So there's loads of stuff here. Let's go into some of the cons. They're not really outlined here in this article, but I will tell you. Of course, high risk. Okay, it is high risk. Any kind of trading is high risk. As the traders are using the firm's own capital to trade financial instruments, this can lead to large losses which can be damaging to both the trader and the firm. Limited job security, long hours, limited career growth, etc., etc. Okay, now I'm reading that off of another screen, but not all of that really applies depending on which prop trading firm you do use. Overall, prop trading firms can offer a challenging, potential rewarding career path, right, or side hustle, right, for those who are skilled at trading or they want to improve their skills at trading and at a smaller cost, right, rather than blowing all your money on a particular trading account. But it is important to understand the potential risks, which is what we're going into. Okay, now let's just go to this slide. What is prop trading? Again, another bit of explanation here. You pay the prop firm to audition for a prop account. Okay, so some of these prop firms have one audition process, some of them have a two-step process. If the audition process is successful, the prop firm gives you access to their own funds to trade with in a live account. Okay, so the audition is based on a demo account, and of course, once you pass that, you get access to the live account. If you make money, profits are shared between the trader and the prop firm, depending on the profit split. The one that I'm using is a 90-10 split, so I get 90% of profits. And of course, if you lose money, the prop firm swallows 100% of the losses, and you lose what you paid to audition in the first place. All right, so that is pretty much what prop trading is in a nutshell. If you want me to elaborate on things in more detail, pros and cons with prop trading, I will, and I can on a separate video if this is something that interests you or if it's something that you want to get a deeper dive of knowledge in. But yeah, this is just kind of like an overview of them. Now, again, down below I've got my links, my link to campsite.bio/bigkcrypto. You can look at that down below in the description box, and you can see here I've got a section for Forex, and you know, I've got two brokers here that and again, please remember, any kind of things that I put on here are things and exchanges or products or whatever that I personally use. So the two brokerages that I use or have used is 8cap and and IC Markets. IC Markets is the one that I predominantly use, but please check, of course, your country's laws and regulations, because of course that might determine which brokerage you use. But this is in the instance, let's just kind of go to basics if you're not really too up to speed with Forex. If you want to trade Forex, it's not like crypto where you go into Bybit, you set up an account, you deposit some money, you get some crypto, and you trade your crypto. In Forex, you typically need a broker. Okay, so for example, IC Markets, you were to join IC Markets, you go through all your KYC, etc., and then you fund your broker. From there, the broker will give you links to let's call it it's a trading platform. Okay, and there's different ones. There's MT4, MT5, okay, MetaTrader. There's also Srge Trader. There are some others as well. Some brokers do have their own implemented trading platforms. Typically, when you use a brokerage, you're going to need to then go into an exchange. You link up your account, your brokerage account that they give you, depending on the server, and then there you go. You're ready to go and trade. But if you wanted to use the funded trading programs, as we've been talking about, there's two that I use or have used. Okay, TFT, which is the funded trader, and Srge Trader. Now, both are very different, and I'm going to kind of go through the parameters of both here very briefly. I'm not going to go into it into too much detail. Again, if you want a full-on review on an individual one, I can. But you know, I'm just going to kind of cover everything in a very small way. Now, this is the funded trader. Okay, it takes you straight here to purchase a type if you wanted to. If you go into the home page, you can see exactly all about it. But let's say you use the standard challenge. Let's say you wanted to use a 100k account, and you're going to be using MT4, and you can choose whichever broker you're using. Let's just go with a regular account. This is going to tell us how much this is, right? So you've got 500. It's going to cost you $521 to purchase this $100,000 account. But what does that mean? What are the parameters? How do you pass that? How do you get access to that real live 100k live account? Now, if you go to the home page and you scroll down a little bit, again, you can choose different challenges. I have used the raw challenge in the past because of the higher leverage, but again, different parameters. Let's just take standard challenge here. Let's change that to 100k. There we are. So it says here, you've got to be trading with a minimum of 3 trading days. Okay, so you've got to have active, even if you pass on the first day, the challenge, you still need to trade for a further 2 days. This is the leverage it's showing you, and it's showing you've got 2 phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Now, this is where I said that some of these prop trading firms have a 2-step audition process. Here it's saying in the first target, the first audition, you have 35 days to make 10% profits on this account. All right, so basically you've got to make 10k, which is not highly unachievable. You might think of that and go, actually, well, that's quite easy, especially if I'm using such, high amount of capital. And then once you have passed that, it then takes you to, you get emailed, you get access to another account. You've got to then take, you've got to make 5K, right, or 5% in this case, and within 60 days. So those are the parameters to pass. However, you have to take this in mind, and this is where it gets interesting, or not interesting, but very important to know. You have a max loss and a max daily loss. So these are your drawdowns, which means at a maximum point, at any point of your trading in the audition process, you cannot go below 12%. That means even in an active trade. So if you're in an active trade, it doesn't mean you can go down to 20% loss and then work your way back up. And as long as it closes within 12%, it's fine. As soon as you surpass 12K as a loss of 12%, let's just call it, then you will void the account and you will fail the audition process. But that's in a max amount. But let's say you started today and you've lost 5K, and then you do another trade and you make 5K. This will zero itself. Okay, so it resets or goes up and down as per your trades. For the daily loss, again, also does fluctuate as you're trading, but in a particular day, okay, so not as your max, but in a particular day, you cannot go under 6%. So these are very important attributes and points that you need to be aware of. Now, these do change depending on which challenge that you do use, whether you're using swing or regular account, etc. And this will cost you $549. For me, when I was doing the Royal Challenge, I was using the 100K account. Slightly different. I had to make a target of 8%, second target of 5%, and these are your max and daily losses here. 80% profit split or 90% risk scaling. Okay, so again, this is another thing you can look at that's unique to TFT compared to the other one that we're going to look at in a second. But you can scale up over time as you progress with your live account. So that's the funded trader. Now, again, you do have the time limits, you do have the restrictions there. When I say the time limit, you've got to hit certain profit targets within a particular amount of days. Now, for Srge Trader is slightly different. It's more relaxed. Okay, so let's just take the 100K package again. This is actually 700. Again, this is, by the way, starting from, just so you get a heads up. Okay, so starting from audition fee of $700, not $500. Profit share of up to 90%, again, depending on if you're going to pay for the extra. I think it's about another $50 or something to go from 80 to 90. Profit target 10%. You've only got one audition process here, so all you need to do is hit that 10%. The daily loss limit, however, is 4%. So you can't go more than a 4% daily loss limit. And as long as you're keeping your trades tight, then this is not going to worry you whatsoever. But again, it's something to take into account. So it's slightly easier with the fact you've only got one audition process to go through, but you do have a tighter daily loss limit, and also a tighter max trading drawdown. So this is the max that we saw on TFT. The max here is 10% with a daily loss of 5%, whereas with the funded trader, it's 4% daily loss and 5% max. So things to consider. So they're both very different, but the one thing that does stand out with Srge Trader, I'm using Srge Trader at the moment on 250K accounts, and the nice thing about this is that there is no additional pressure of time limit. Again, like I said, I've been going through a lot of things going on with family. There were times, weeks, even where I couldn't even look at any kind of trading, and this suited me just right because of that. And again, I was very conservative with my limits. Okay, so these are the two different processes. Again, like I said, there is a starting from audition fee, so there's a difference. Okay, Srge Trader is more expensive, however, in my opinion, is slightly easier to pass in terms of the audition process. But you can see here, if you were to add the bundle pack, okay, the bundle pack consists of no stop loss, which this basically means if you don't get this, okay, then it means you have to put a stop loss on every trade. I don't work like that. I don't trade like that, so I definitely need that. That adds another $70 straight away. 90% rather than a 70% profit split, and double leverage takes up to $980. All right, that's with a bit of saving there because you're using the bundle pack. You can choose your MT4, MT5, press purchase now, and you buy it, and you're off to the races. Okay, so those are the two prop trading firms that I have used and are using. Okay, right now I'm using Srge Trader, and it is going very, very well. Full clarity here, I did fail it twice. Okay, but again, even if I failed it twice, let's say that cost me 2K and then an extra K, so let's say 3K in total, I have access to a $100,000 account, which, by the way, as I said before, you cannot touch this, of course. Okay, this is somebody else's money, but as soon as I withdraw that free account, I'm already at break-even point on my trading, and at that point, it's just a matter of, you know, learning to just trade and taking it easy and taking your profits out. Now, of course, between the two, they do have limits to how many times you can withdraw. With Srge Trader, it's once a month. So that's something else to keep in mind. So those are the two prop firms that I've used. Okay, if you want to have a look at them again, they're on my link. I've got the links down in the description below anyway. They are both very, very good. Another risk I do want to also make you guys aware, right? There have been prop trading firms in the past that have gone bankrupt. So you have to understand that risk. You might pay $700, let's say on average, for access. You might be halfway through the audition process, or you might have just got funded and they go under. But at least you lost $700, right? You haven't lost 50K or 20K. Now, obviously, a lot less likely to happen with brokerages. And, you know, this is where your research is going to come into the play, you know, when you're looking into funded trading programs. I know these two are very good. I know TFT is actually excellent in terms of history when it comes to how long they've been around, etc. But again, do your own research on those. It's very important to do. So that is basically the roundup of prop trading firms. I know I've rambled on quite a bit. I've gone not so much of a structure on this. You know, I will be doing later videos and maybe reviewing individual ones, maybe showing you my MT4 setup, showing you how it works, and diving into these in a bit more detail if that's what you're interested in looking to doing. Again, like I said, it's open to obviously Forex predominantly, indices. Like right now I'm in trading in NASDAQ. There's obviously you can there are cryptocurrencies that you can do as well with them, but again, look at the fees. I'm not sure how the fees work with crypto on them because I haven't personally done that myself, so that's full disclaimer there. But anyway, guys, that is it from me. I think I'm going to call it a day. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it was a bit enlightening. If there's any questions you've got on it, let me know and I can address it on another video, or I can do a video specific to something. But yeah, prop firms are a great tool to use. You can get access to a large amount of capital, especially when it comes to Forex. Trade with a large amount of capital, of course, on the basis that you pass the audition process. It's a great way to obviously refine your skills anyway, and you're doing so at a less amount of risk because you're putting a lot less capital in rather than putting in, let's say, 5-10K of your own money. My advice and takeaway is, get MT4, download it anyway, hit a demo account. Create a demo account. You can do it through any of those brokerages that I have on my link anyway, ACAP and IC Markets. Create a free demo account. You don't need KYC or anything like that. Play around, get used to MT4, and then if you feel you can go to one of the smaller accounts. You don't have to do the 100K account. You can look at what is the cheapest one here. Let's have a quick look. Here we go. So $250 for the 25K starter pack. So you can do that. Now, as far as I understand it, you can't scale up with Srge Trader. You can with TFT, and TFT is slightly cheaper, but again, harder and tighter. I would say harder in the sense of that you've got the time limit. You can even do a 10K account, and that's going to cost you $139. So there's lots of different things that you can do. Have a look if you are interested in doing any, trying any of those out. Take a look, do your own research into the companies. Please don't use them because I'm using them. Don't click on them because they're my links. You might find, and there are others, right? There's plenty of different trading firms, but you do want to look into them. But I just thought I'd bring this video out to you because it is just something interesting, something new, something different to kind of look at, and a different way of managing your own wealth when it comes to trading or investing. So on that one, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I forgot to be mentioning that, the usual YouTube stuff. But yeah, anyway, like, subscribe, do all that kind of jazz. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.